Welcome to the last section of Module 1. Congrats for making it this far. In this subsection, we are going to be going over 1.7, which is all about finding area and perimeter of basic shapes. So let's go through what perimeter and area exactly means first, prior to us diving into some examples. So perimeter essentially just means the total length around the outside of any given shape. So let's take a look at example 1. For example, if we wanted to find the perimeter, we are going to find the total length of all these 4 lengths on the outside of the square. And then area is just the amount of space that a shape holds. So the area is all the space within the shape or inside the shape. So with that in mind, let's just take a moment to go through example 1 and find the area and perimeter of this square. So one thing that I want to point out is that in geometry and shapes, sometimes you might see like these dashes or these lines on the sides of each shape. And that just is indicating to us that all the sides are the same length, or all the sides are equal. So we can rewrite this. So we can write 3 feet here and 3 feet here, because all the sides are the same. And also one thing is, if you're told that, hey, if you're told that a shape is for sure a square has all the same side lengths. All those side lengths are equal. So you don't necessarily need these dashes here to actually be told, hey, these lengths are equal, if you were told it's a square. But if you aren't told, you can't assume that unless if you are given those dashes. But let's find the perimeter. So the perimeter, So we know that the perimeter, as I said before, is the total length around the outside of a given shape. And it says here, to find the perimeter, you must take the sum of all the lengths in a given shape. So we know that this is a length, this is a length, this is a length, and this is a length. And we know that a sum means to add, so we're just going to add all the lengths together. So we're going to do 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. And I got those 3's from these 4 lengths. 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. And in that case, that ends up being 12. So our perimeter is 12 feet. And then our area is base times height. So the base is always going to be, it won't always be the bottom of the shape, but you can kind of just, we might get more into that later, but for now, the base is the bottom of the shape. So this is the base, and then the height is how tall the shape is. So let me label that here. So this here, that is the base, and this here, that is the height. So with that in mind, since area is base times height, we're going to do 3 times 3. And 3 times 3 is 9. And we can't forget our unit, which is feet. And then one thing, when you multiply or when you find the area, you are always going to have our answer. The answer is always going to be units squared. So our feet is going to be squared in this case because we are multiplying the two numbers. Moving on to example 2, we have a rectangle. So to find the perimeter of this rectangle, we are going to have to figure out what all the lengths are. And in this case, we aren't given all the side lengths, but with a rectangle, the opposite side, the side is going to be the same length. So we can write 2 meters here. And then this 7 meters here is also, this bottom or the space here is also equal to the 7 meters. So we can just rewrite that there. So with that in mind, we're just going to add all the lengths together. So it's going to be 7 plus 2 plus 7 plus 2. And that equals 18. Oops. So it's going to be 18 meters. And then our area is going to be our base times height. And our base is here. And our height is here. So it's going to be 7 meters times 2 meters. 7 meters times 2 meters. And 7 times 2 is 14 meters. And then because we are finding the area, our units are going to be squared. Now moving on to example 3. Let's see. So we're going to write the perimeter. And then area. So in this case, this shape here, this is called a parallelogram. And to find the area and the perimeter of the parallelogram, we're going to go about it the same exact way as we did for example 1 and 2. So don't let the parallelogram scare you just because it looks a little more complicated. We're still going to go through all the same steps. So to find the perimeter, we're going to have to find all these outside lengths here. Now, one thing to be cautious about, though, is that this is not included in this shape. This is actually not the shape itself. This here, these dashed lines are just showing us or telling us this is just showing us the height, how tall the shape is. This isn't actually included in this shape. So we do not want to include this in our perimeter. So just be careful of that. So to find all of our side lengths, we can say that this 8 here, 8 inches is going to be equivalent to this side. So this side is also 8 inches. And then this side here, 7 inches is going to be equivalent to there. So in that case, our perimeter is just going to be 7 plus 8 plus 7 plus 8. So in that case, 7 plus 8 plus 7 plus 8, that equals 30. So our answer is going to be 30 inches. And then area, we know, is base times height. So I'm going to label the base and the height for this problem. So our base is here. This is our base. And then our height is here. So since our area is base times height, our base is 7 inches, and our height is 6 inches. So 7 times 6 is 42. And then we're going to have inches squared. Looking at example 4, I encourage you to actually pause the video and give this problem a try on your own before we go through it together. And assuming you have given this a try, let's work through it together. So let's see. So these arrows here, don't let this confuse you. So these arrows are just indicating to us what sides are equal to each other. So if you notice here, this has 1 arrow, and this side also has 1 arrow. So the sides with just 1 arrow are equal. So we know that this side is equal to this side. So it's going to be 8 centimeters. And then the sides with the 2 arrows are equal to each other. So we know that this side here is also equal to that side on the bottom. So it's going to be 12 centimeters. And with that in mind, we now have all the side lengths we need to find that perimeter. So let's add all of them together. So we have 12 plus 8 plus 12 plus 8. And that equals 40. Ah, that is very messy. Let me clean it up here. Equals 40. There you go. And then our area, we know is base times height. So this is our base. This is our height. So 12 times 6, we're going to do 12 centimeters times 6 centimeters. Oh. And 12 times 6 is 72. 72 centimeters. And don't forget, because this is area, we have to square our units. And last but not least, our very last example in Unit 1. So let's go through it. We got this. So in this case, we have letters. But if we look up here, we are told what some of the letters equals. So let's fill in those letters down on the shape. So we know A equals 10. So we're going to put 10 down here. And then we know B equals 6. So we're going to put that here. And we know HA, which is here, we know that equals 5. So we're going to put that there. So with that in mind, let's try and find the perimeter and the area. So as we've seen before, this is a parallelogram. So this length here is going to be equal. This A here is going to be equal to here. So we can say, hey, that's 10. And then this length here, this length here is going to be equal to this length here. It's going to be 6. So our perimeter is going to be 10 plus 6 plus 10 plus 6. And that equals 32. So we're going to have 32. In this case, there are no units. And sometimes we run into that. So you always just want to just say 32 units. And then area, we know is base times height. So this is our base. This is our height. Oh, that's not a straight line. So we're going to do 10 times 5. 10 times 5. That equals 50. And like I said, we don't have actual measurements, so we're just going to say 50 units. And then because this is area, we're going to square it. So final answer is 50 units squared. Thank you so much. Congratulations on finishing your first ever unit for this course, and I can't wait to see you for the start of Unit 2.